Well, hello, Donald's Creek, and welcome to day 19 of 31 days in Proverbs. We are in Proverbs 19 today. There's a few observations that I want to make. Proverbs 19 is a lot like yesterday, Proverbs 18, in that there is not a whole lot in any one topic. It's kind of spread out really well. But there are some things here that really caught my attention that I wanted to share with you. The first one is right here in verse 1, 4, 6, and 7. We'll take a look at that last line of 7 before we move on. They all relate. One, better is a poor person who walks in his integrity than one who is crooked in speech in speech and is a fool. So here in verse 1, you have a bunch of topics in one proverb. Better is a poor person who walks in integrity than one who is crooked in speech. There's 3, and is a fool. Four topics all in one. And all of these, 1, 4, wealth brings many new friends, but a poor man is deserted by his friend. That's kind of sad, isn't it? I don't think I would desert my friend if they were poor. If they were so poor that they couldn't take a shower or a bath, maybe I would stand away from them a little bit. Maybe. But yes, and 6 and 7, many seek the that ad is throwing me off. Sorry about that. I was seeing if there was an X. There's no X. Many seek the favor of a generous man, and everyone is a friend of a man who gives gifts. Yes, is that true? Have you seen that in life? These people, the documentaries, people who get money, be it from a large settlement or from a lottery or something, and people come out of the woodwork. Yay, don't you remember I helped you on that quiz in 3rd grade? How you doing? How's life? Yeah, it's crazy. All a poor man's brothers hate him. How much more do his friends go far from him? And then there's this added line. He pursues them with words, but does not have them, does not have the words. Well, this is one of those situations very similar to yesterday. We're not going to stay on it long. We went a little long yesterday. This is one of those situations like yesterday where going to another translation helps. So we'll go to a dynamic equivalent, which would be our New International. We could go to the New English translation. We can go anywhere with the dynamic equivalent. It's not what you have in this case is the literal doesn't add those extra words to kind of help you. And so the translators, the equivalent, added. Here, look at verse number 7. The poor are shunned by other relatives. How much more do their friends avoid them? Next line. Though the poor pursue them with pleading, they are nowhere to be found. So those added words kind of give some clarity to the verse. And so there's some implications that a translator has to make. Not certain if we know what if those implications that the translator used is good, but they do have to make some implications. What about our next little observation? The magistrate can do something. Let's look at verse number 12. What does that mean? A king's rage is like the roar of a lion, but his favor is like dew on the grass. So there's videos. If you're on social media anywhere, and all the platforms have them, TikTok, that's their whole thing is video. That's their shtick. But you have them on X, you have them on Facebook, you have them on Instagram, you have them on YouTube. They're shorts, not the shorts you wear, but just short videos. 30 seconds to a couple minutes long, and people put things out there. And I've seen some of those shorts where a young lady was in a courtroom and she was going to leave the courtroom, a free woman on probation, but she wasn't going to jail, but she got lippy. This is saying that a king, someone in authority, their rage is like the roar of a lion. I mean, it's serious. They can do something. You need to respect it and honor it. She ended up, because she couldn't keep her mouth shut, with a year of jail of contempt because she could not keep her mouth closed. Wow. He just kept going. But this is the power of the magistrate, and we respect and honor them. Okay, what's the last little observation here is, isn't God the giver of all good things? Well, of course he is, or he's the giver of even the bad things. Let's look at here, number 14. Houses and wealth are inherited from parents. Yep, maybe. But yes, houses and wealth are an inheritance. But a prudent wife is from the Lord. Well, isn't a house and wealth a gift from God too, or is he just giving out wives and husbands? Of course, this is in the importance of scripture interpretation. We would not imply from that verse that God can't give a house, and God can't give wealth. This is poetry. That's the type of literature that we're reading. And so you don't read poetry like you read a dictionary. You don't read poetry like you read the Ohio Revised Code or the Constitution of the United States. Those are legal documents. You don't read them the same. And so that is the importance of hermeneutics. And that's what a Bible teacher and that's what a preacher, a pastor brings to. They try to determine what is being said. What is the type of literature that I'm reading? Is it history? Is it law? Is it poetry? What are we talking? Is this a witness account? So yes, those are things that you have to keep in mind. All right, here we go. When, place, and show. Money, money, money. Got 4 verses. There are probably some more here. Let's see. Family matters, place, and wisdom. Look at there. Wisdom's been falling through the ranks. How about thing number 1? Thing number 1. There is a lot going on here in verse number 1. And we kind of already looked at this earlier, but there is a lot going on. The poor, the blameless, the fool, the speech, back in the English Standard that says lips, and perverse speech. So there's a lot going on there in that passage. And I want you to take note here also of the general nature of the Proverbs. There we go. General nature. We've talked about this a few times, and I want to stress it, that because the Proverb says something doesn't mean it's law. When it's speaking about the Lord, and when it's speaking about law, it would be hard and fast. But here in our proverb, I want to go back to the English Standard on this one. It's speaking about the poor, and there we go. Let's go back. Better is a poor person who walks in integrity, because several places it's mentioned that the poor, what shall we say? The poor is like it's like a curse in some proverbs, that they're not blessed. But this poor person has integrity. Again, this is a hermeneutic, scripture interpretation principle. That's what hermeneutic means. Okay, so let's move to thing number 2, zeal without knowledge. The other day I heard someone talking about degrees of college, that when one gets a bachelor's, they're like, oh man, they really feel on top of the world. They really feel like they know a lot. You remember the first couple weeks of your junior year, once you got all the literatures out of the way, and the American histories out of the way, and the Western civs out of the way, and the biologies out of the way, and you got to your discipline, whatever it was, whether it's accounting, business or counseling or communications or whatever your degree was in. Once you got to that and you began learning some inside baseball, right? You're excited because you're studying what you're in college for. If that you feel like, oh my word, I know everything. But then when you get your master's, you learn, hey, there's a lot I don't know. And this person was saying, you get to your PhD and they're like, I really don't know anything. And they have a doctorate in this. So Paul talks about zeal without knowledge in Romans 10 and verse 2. He's talking there about having a zeal without knowledge. And that's really, kind of where is it at? Desire without knowledge is not good. Whoever makes haste with his feet misses his way. So you can jump because you think you know a lot of stuff. I don't know. That stood out. That really stood out, and I thought I would make it a thing, and I wanted to share that. Thing number 3, 19 verse 21. Let's look at that real quick. Many are the plans in the mind of a man, but the purpose of it is the purpose of the Lord that will stand. Do you know how many administrations I have lived through? How many elections I have lived through? And there are many who are older than me that are watching these Proverbs presentations. You've lived through more. How many times have I heard, this is the last one. If we don't win this time, the world is going to end. And I'm not talking about biblical ending. I'm just saying, things are going to be so bad that the country will come to a stop. That the country will have a constitutional crisis. And I have heard that time and time and time again. I felt that way in the last administration. In fact, I put my cards on the table. I didn't think he would make it 4 years. I didn't think he had the health to make it 4 years. I think the only person I said that to was Tina. But I was like, oh my word, I don't even think he can make 4 years. And that's not a criticism. I'm not being critical of him. It's just my observations. He didn't look healthy. And I thought, oh my word, the things they're going to do, the things, you hear that with this administration. You have people who are worried about what they're going to do. Are they going to add to the Supreme Court? Are they going to do this in California? Are they going to do this in Texas? Are they going to do that in Illinois? And there's all this talk, all these plans. God's in control. Really. He's in control. There is, please don't misinterpret what I'm saying. I want to be clear. We need to have good leaders. Absolutely. We need the blessing of the Lord to bless our leaders with wisdom, with discernment and knowledge and leadership ability. We need this. We really do. But the world, God's in control, and it will end when He's ready for it to end. The United States of America will come to a stop when God is ready for the United States of America to come to a stop. You be a Christian. You follow Jesus. You follow Scripture. You get to know Scripture, and you vote for people who represent the closest thing to Scripture that they can. And let's let all these experts on these shorts, on these videos, let's let all these experts, just let them do their thing, and let's praise Jesus, be happy with Jesus. For Pete's sake, what do we got going on here? This is the most important thing, is that we have so many people who have plans to do things for America. They have plans to put in various IDs and global initiatives and forced compliance, all these plans being made. But yet the Lord is the one who is in control. Absolutely. Don't know what happened there. We have a technical malfunction, but we're at the end. We're at the end of our day. Thank you for joining me. How about we do this tomorrow? I think that's a great idea. I think it's a good idea. I will see you tomorrow. Thanks so much for being with me today, and may God bless you.